take place. So
Wait.
all of those elements have to come together. Whiting and Turning is a major construction company here in Baltimore City. And you see in Baltimore and Maryland in general, you see them doing construction everywhere. These people are brilliant at designing places to bring about peace and tranquility for the population in which they serve. The people in positions of power in these cities, whether it be the mayor of others, have to bring them on to design places that by themselves, by the environment, reduce crime or mitigate the logic of doing crime, or don't have young people looking out on situations where they feel it's so hopeless it doesn't matter whether they live or die.
Wow.
So, I also have another question, because I know you and my dad both are pretty much experts when it comes to, the relations and the inner workings of the departments themselves. So, I actually saw in a news clip of the Chicago PD spokesman, Anthony. How do you pronounce his last name, Dad? Anthony.
We'll call him Anthony. We'll call him Anthony G.
Well,
I can't even
anyways,
begin to pronounce that name.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the press kind of asked him why these shootings keep happening in Chicago, and his response was, and I quote, "It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why the shootings keep happening, because the shooters don't fear any significant consequences in court, and until that happens, you're not going to see, a decrease in the shootings, and he's tired of it." But my question is, when you see this lack of hope coming from the police department and this lack of trust in their court system coming from the police department, does it kind of give criminals that thought, like, oh, they're not even united, I could definitely get away with some stuff now? Like, what does having that attitude to the public do to the overall mess that they've created?
Yeah, two things. Anger and frustration are emotions, but they're not solutions. So
Right.
It really doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't do any good for him to articulate that kind of philosophy in a city where people are already, we got the feeling thing. We understand. We got our feelings. We are caught up in our feelings, but we needed some concrete solutions. And when you have people in positions of authority, or not necessarily just in positions of authority, but in the positions where they can garner attention, their language becomes extremely important. Listen,
Right.
We know for a fact, this is what we know via research, and this is what we know that sometimes police departments know but don't know, or know but don't act on. We know for a fact that some of this crime is a cycle. In other words, and it's not just a cycle of retaliation. That's part of it. But it's a cycle of individuals. Once they hear about Chicago and Baltimore being these balanced cities, there's individuals who are young people who want to belong to something, say, well, I want to belong to the violent record. I want to be, if we're at shooting 356, I want to go out and do 356. There's an excitement in and of itself to violence. Like drugs are addictive, violence becomes addictive to people who have nothing else or nothing positive to become addicted to. So
Right.
You wonder why violence continues. You have shootings. You're talking about shootings every night on the news. The young people are seeing some of their friends they're addicted to the thought of violence because they have nothing else to latch on to. And we know there's an excitement in sex and violence because that's what we go to movie to see. The movies that get the highest ratings are movies where there's a lot of violence and there's a lot of sex and there's a lot of people blowing people up.
That's
and
right.
So on and so forth. The trailers to get us into the movie theaters, or the trailers that demonstrate violence to us. And we say, oh, I want to go see that movie. That looks like it's got a lot of action. Well, these young people who are living a life, not a fantasy, not
Right.
sitting around buying tickets to go to a movie, are saying, well, yeah, this is exciting. I want to be involved in that. So psychologically, they are addicted to becoming a part of the problem. And to them, what we consider them as doing is becoming a part of the problem. To them is becoming a part of the solution to deal with their boredom and that their thing that they have nothing exciting to look forward to in life. Mike, when you think about what I'm going to do next year, you say, well, I'm going to plan for a vacation. I might go to New York, might go to Cuba, might go to Jamaica, might go to the Bahamas. But whatever it is, even as you sit here tonight, you are planning for some future event that brings joy to your heart. Imagine if you got up every single day of your life and there was no event to look forward to. There was nothing in your life that would bring joy anytime in the future. Then you seek the alternative, which is some kind of excitement that brings some adrenaline, even though it doesn't bring joy. Most of us, those who are in the middle class now, we are planning, even if it's church Sunday, we're saying, well, Thursday, I got to find out what I'm going to wear to church Sunday. But there's a good feeling about going to church, about buying the clothes to go to church. You have a future orientation. There's something exciting that will keep you doing something today that will prevent you from enjoying that vacation or that Sunday morning service. Right. For young people who have nothing to see in the future, their only excitement they have is the excitement they create. And part of that excitement can be the fact that they're getting attention because of the murders. And so that's a forward-looking thing from them. And so we've got to give them an alternative, and we got to do it quickly, immediately. And what I'm saying is this: I'm not naive enough to say that we can reduce crime. We can stop all these shootings tomorrow, but I'm guaranteeing you that with the right people in leadership positions, with the right thinking, you can mitigate crime in the next 3 hours. You give people something else to look forward to be excited about, like we get excited about vacations and going out Friday night and payday tomorrow. Friday's coming up as payday. I'm going to this stuff. You get people then they won't do anything today that will prevent them from getting to that very positive event. The people who are committing these shootings and these violence, the shootings are the positive event for them.
Wow. Well, stopping violence in our communities is a huge issue, and we're going to cover as much as we can this evening. When we come back, let's talk more about the Stopping This Madness and the role of the stop snitching mentality in empowering a certain segment of the criminal element. We will be right back.
You're listening to Straight No Chaser, the only show to quench your talk radio thirst.
Anyone else?
My name is David, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic.
Hi, David.
I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. But my parents won't start talking to me about it till high school. And by then, I'll already be in some trouble.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
The thing is, my parents won't even see it coming.
So start talking.
Who's next?
Before they start drinking.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
Started at a party, everyone was there. She had a couple pills on a little dare, but now she's missing class and she's dropping her pom-poms. Nobody knows where she is, not even her mom. Everybody thought she was the all-American girl. So there goes the books, it's all about the score. There goes the doggy, life is such a bore. There goes the family, she's got a new friend. There goes the looks, this is the end. I guess she really was the all-American girl.
Pick up heroin and you'll throw away everything you love. Share your stories on Instagram with #heroin.
You don't like watered-down issues? Let us serve you the hard stuff. So come on, let's get back to Pastor C, MBZ, and the Chief.
All right, and we are back from break. Let's get back to the enemy within. What will it take to stop it? Once again, let me remind listeners you can reach us by chat or at 702-425-7789. Street violence has a terrible impact on the community and normally has causative factors, including witness intimidation. Dr. Powers, you are an expert in criminal justice. Do you think the whole Stop Snitching campaign is helping to fuel the violence or help the violence?
I couldn't hear the last part of your question.
Do you think the whole Stop Snitching campaign is helping to fuel the violence or stop the violence?
Well, let me just say this to you. The Stop Snitching campaign, where people will not tell on other people, is not a culture where people are just not telling on other people because they don't want to snitch. There are people in these communities that are consistently in fear. We had here in Baltimore the Dawson family who did talk and didn't get appropriate police protection. There's a witness protection program here in a city like Baltimore, same in Chicago, where the people who give information and then go into witness protection are only put in witness protection for 3 to 6 months. In many cases, because of the court system, the people who committed the crime are back out, and these people have to live in fear. The police and the detectives and the mayor and all the politicians, aldermen or councilmen in the case of Baltimore and councilwomen encourage people to provide information, but they don't necessarily have to reap the consequences of providing that information. The federal witness protection system takes you not only out of your city, out of your state, and it's kind of a permanent witness protection program for those who really want to provide information but don't want to have to come back to that situation. If you look at the witness protection programs in most cities and states, they're only temporary, and they don't even take you that far away from the people you're getting information to. So one point of that, which is extremely important, is that people do want to tell. They do want to have clean community. They do want to get rid of the people who are committing rape and other kind of violence in their community, but they want to live to see the results of them giving that information. If I tell the police on someone who has committed a murder, and the police are able to arrest that individual, and then that individual's friends come and kill me, then what was the benefit? I don't get to see the benefit of me providing the information because I'm no longer here either. So we have to take that into consideration. Police departments, in a sense, know that. And I know here in the state of Maryland, the state's attorney, I even mentioned to her one time, I said, there's a law and there's a procedure that allows the federal government to take local witnesses and put them in federal witness protection if they get information. But you got to tell people that they can provide information and be safe. So, and that's in a more concrete and specific way. In general, the Stop Snitching concept can't be a surprise to anyone because it's a part of every organization, whether it's the Catholic Church, as we're seeing recently with all the people, all the young people, thousands and thousands of young people have been sexually abused over the last 20 to 30 years with no one telling on it, not even other priests. So it's not just that philosophy of not telling on someone else. It's not just in those who are living in neighborhoods and with violence. It's living in a church that we would in a place where you would think the foundation tells us to tell because God wants us to tell, but they haven't done it in that. We're seeing those stories now. And police departments, the blue line, the fact that police officers don't tell on other police officers. Frank Stefferco philosophy that he told us with before, that police officers not only didn't tell on other police officers, but allowed him to get shot because he told on other police officers. So the Stop Snitching thing is not specific to our crime-ridden neighborhoods, because in our crime-ridden neighborhoods, I will guarantee you this, the people are more likely to want to tell, to clear their neighborhoods so that their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and parents freely, but they have seen what happens when they provide information, and they have seen situations like the Dawsons, and they've seen the police inability or unwillingness to protect people that provide information. So when the police chief come out and say, we need you to provide information, this is a horrible crime, they're thinking two things. Yeah, I want to provide information. Yes, it is a horrible crime, but I want to live to see the results of me providing my information to help clean up this neighborhood.
Right.
So, with that being said, Doc, then what will it take to, and I know this is a big question,